The Lion King live action remake was such a huge hit in 2019. It was very clear that Disney was eventually going to do something. I assumed a sequel. Instead, we got a prequel that is about how Mufasa became the Lion King. But instead of Jon Favreau returning to direct, this time we got Barry Jenkins, who has made films such as Moonlight, If Beale Street Could Talk, and made a mini-series for Amazon called The Underground Railroad, which I have not seen yet, but I have seen Moonlight and Beale Street. Both of those movies are extremely intimate, very well crafted, so beautiful to look at. So jumping from something like that to this, basically just a blockbuster IP with CGI lions and CGI animals, was something that I was not expecting at all. But I am curious to see if Jenkins can make something new out of this. Is it a visual gander with great lighting and intimate storytelling, or is it just CGI animals talking for 2 hours? It's more so that, but I'll give it to Jenkins that he actually tried to do something different with it. The thing about the Lion King remake, and this has been said so many times, because they made everything look so realistic, it took away part of what makes the original so fantastic. Now, I'm not saying that the 2019 film is ugly in any way because of its natural lighting and realistic tone. That's not the issue for me. It's more so that the entire movie stays in this natural state, so everything just looks so real life that it just kind of looks boring. You're not doing a lot with color, anything like that. Jenkins certainly tries to find ways to make colors pop. He tries to find ways to make certain moments feel a little bit bigger. He even tries to shoot action a little bit differently by using a story cam sometimes. You can tell the ideas are there, but it's the same problem as the previous movie. It's just held back by those effects. Now, I do think the visual effects in this movie are quite impressive, especially when there are close-ups. That just looks real to me. However, making everything look realistic just takes away some of the fun that movie is lacking. Now, I am not sure if this was Jenkins' decision or if this was like a studio executive that decided this, but someone heard about the lack of emotion from the 2019 remake. In this movie, it is not really an issue. It's pretty noticeable early on that these animals are smiling, frowning, showing frustration, showing anger. They are making tons of emotions. It doesn't really bother me. I've heard some people say it looks a little uncanny, especially when they're smiling. They do try to make it look as natural as possible, and for the most part it works. I mean, sure, I don't know if a lion really would smile like that, but it doesn't really hurt the movie at all for me. It just makes things a little bit easier to grasp how they are feeling, that's all. Now, I do think that this film would have been a little bit better as a 2D animated film. However, as far as all of the Lion King films, this probably still would have been a weaker one. I find the story not so interesting or exciting. It's focused on showing unnecessary origins for multiple things, which doesn't hurt the original film in any way, but it did make me think that's not how I thought this would have gone down. But sure, I guess this is how this happened. The villains are pretty lame and the songs aren't that good in my opinion. I would have just preferred to cut those songs. However, I wasn't expecting to hear Mads Mikkelson sing in this movie. He does sing. Is it good? No, but that's okay. Rafiki is telling the story to Simba and Nala's daughter Kiara, who is constantly being interrupted by Timon and Pumbaa. It takes you out of the story. You have to hear a very unfunny joke for a whole minute, and then we get back to the story, and then a little bit later it happens again. So annoying. I would have just cut this completely. It adds nothing to Mufasa's story. Even them trying to develop Kiara, I don't think it adds much to her either. Now, as far as voice acting goes from the newcomers, I wouldn't say anyone stands out, but they're all fine and they deliver their lines well. Pierre plays Mufasa. He's not doing a James Earl Jones impression, but every once in a while the baritone in his voice comes out and it feels big, but other than that, I don't think he's doing anything crazy in this performance. Kelvin Harrison Jr. plays Taka, who is also known as Scar. For the majority of the film, feels like Harrison is just doing a regular voice. There's a turning point, which I thought was a lame turning point, that makes him change and starts to have this hatred for Mufasa, and that's when he gets to do a bit more with his voice acting, and I thought that was quite good. As far as everyone else, they're fine. Mikkelson doesn't do much for me as a villain. It's just a weak performance, just a weak story for him. Keith David is in this movie too. He's always good, but he's not in it that much. There are some good visuals in this film, and Jenkins does try to do more with color and cinematography compared to the 2019 film, but overall, I just felt empty and bored throughout this entire thing. Jenkins does try to make the story feel intimate and distinctive, but it just lacks some excitement. There isn't much that makes this feel like a Barry Jenkins film. This honestly felt like it could have been directed by anybody. The villains are not interesting at all. The use of Timon and Pumbaa is annoying. The songs are weak. They don't add much at all. I would have just cut those. It's not anything that gets me upset or frustrated about The Lion King. It doesn't feel offensive or anything like that. I just didn't care what was going on in this film, honestly. And I'm sure we'll probably get another one of these in 5 to 10 years. It seems like if they do a sequel to the 2019 film, it might be a little bit different than the 2D sequel we got a long time ago. But I just feel like there's no point. This technology is cool, and we've now seen it twice as to what Disney can do with these visuals, with these effects. I think it's just taken away artistic expression, so I just think we don't need to make another one. I'm sure Jenkins got a nice paycheck from this, and I'm happy that he's getting that money. I'm sure whatever he makes is going to be better than this. I just hope it is a little bit more intimate and beautiful to look at. That's all. I'm going to give Mufasa a 2 out of 5. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. If you made it this far, have you seen Mufasa? Do you plan on seeing it? What do you want to see Barry Jenkins do next? Let me know down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. Make sure you exercise every day, drink your milk, and have a great day.